And I just started to learn about how incredibly dysfunctional the system was. And that's what led me toward the eventual passage of these bills, and really digging in deep, coming up with some systems. And that's what launched this massive negotiation that I helped to lead between local government, who of course are paying the price of the dysfunction.
Because of they are collecting all the trash.
Local government is sort of they're the ones ultimately who are held responsible for waste management.
For all the waste management, okay.
Exactly. So and that's the thing. I mean, it is, while people say, by imposing new costs on the manufacturers, you may increase the cost of plastic. Well, to the extent that may be true, if that is a real issue, don't forget, right now the plastics manufacturers are pushing the costs associated with their cheap, low retail price products on the rest of us. It's the rest of us, it's our local governments that are picking up the tab. It's the cities. And of course, what do? They pass it on to the ratepayers, us. And that's why we've seen our waste hauling rates continuing to rise. And so that's why cities were such an important part of the conversation. And quite frankly, they were the most important ally throughout the process, was the League of Cities, as we were trying to get these bills passed, because they're the ones who are at the front of the line in terms of the impact. They're the ones who have been able to see the problem up close and personal. And it was starting to constrain their budgets.
So what you're saying is that there are items made that are at a low cost, because they can be made at a low cost, like plastic items, packaging, all that. And then they are kind of promoted as recyclable. So people buy them, they use them, they put them in a recycling bin. But then to recycle them, it'll cost a fortune.
Yes.
That it doesn't make sense.
So then they don't get recycled. Why would anyone ever want to recycle something? Would they go through the hassle of sorting them and melting them down and turning them into something that they can't sell at a price that justifies all the expense associated with sorting? So it's partly why so many states have just given up on blue bins altogether.
And where does it go? It goes into the landfill, right?
It goes to the landfill. At the best case scenario, it goes to the landfill. Worst case scenario, it ends up ending up in our water streams, in our ocean, in our environment. And of course, we know that the amount of plastic out in the environment is shot up. And in fact, so much of it is out there, and so much of it ends up breaking down into microplastics and ending up in our food stream, in our water stream, and it's ending up in our own bodies. So they found plastics in placentas, in our skin, in our blood. And if you think about the fact that this is basically fossil fuel that is now in our bodies, every single one of us. You have about a credit card worth. There's all sorts of arguments about this.
That is the size of a credit card.
Well, who knows, right? But there's more than that in your body right now in plastic.
Does it come through the food, or does it?
Yeah. Food and water, typically, yeah. It's so hard to get rid of, right? It's not your body isn't designed to excrete this stuff.
Other states have given up on this, right?
Yes, because they're not willing to do the hard work of holding the industry accountable, and the market has fallen out on the materials. What we're hoping to do with our legislation, of course, is by forcing the whole system to be more responsive to the realities that we've just been discussing, and by forcing the product manufacturers to actually take into account true recyclability, true compostability, and most importantly, waste reduction, source reduction, will both help to spur markets for circularity, so that those products that actually really can find an end use will find an end use that actually has.
So if they make them, it is really recyclable, and then there is a financial model for the recycling.
For the recycling, exactly, and will also create more of a financial market for alternatives that are more environmentally friendly.